Good evening. This is the Elliott wave update for the S&P 500 for Tuesday, April 5th, 2021. The S&P seemed to have chosen scenario one that I presented last night on the update. And within that update, I had given the preferred view that I was continuing to use, and we'll start right here on our daily, and we'll unpack the couple of scenarios that may be in play and what each one would signal. So again, the count that I'm using, I believe that the highs are in thus far, 4808, and that we are in the beginning stages of a much larger, longer term corrective phase. And thus far, I believe we are dropping within an intermediate 5-wave decline. It's an intermediate degree 5-wave decline. And right now we've got one, intermediate one is complete. And we're looking at intermediate wave two either being complete or still needing the completion of a B wave, internal B wave, a minor B wave, and then a minor C wave up to complete the intermediate wave two. Now, the scenario we're using is basically that one. And within it, we counted this high, which is 4631, as the completion point of minor wave A of intermediate wave two. Then we are in the process of putting in an ABC, which will comprise the minor B wave of intermediate wave two. That would leave us with still a rally to go. Now, when dropping down to the hourly chart, we can start to take a look at all the internals of this thus far. Here we have 5 waves up to complete wave A. Then we have, as I've marked out now, this was, and I'm still going to use it as a 5-wave decline, and it's wave A. Or, so I'm going to be giving you both scenario 1 and 2 together here, because both would really be calling for some additional downside. Just the preferred view, which is the one I'm going to give you right now, the downside can get looking pretty serious, but it should all stop and we should still get a decent, not a decent, but we should still rally again above 4631. All right, so within that view, this is wave A. This is wave B now, which did complete up at 4587.25. Now we're dropping in a C wave. And within that C wave, and I'm going to go down again all the way to the 15 so we can see this C wave. And so what we've got is a 1 and a 2. Now that it drew it up, but I'm going to leave it to there. And that this was just a really strange extreme and didn't really, but maybe get 25 cents more. So I may move it over, and if we do, that's fine. But right now, this is like a 1, 2, and then we start to break into a subdividing third. And even that does not appear complete. So at best, 1, 2, this might be 3. We get a 4, and then we get a 5, and that completes the first 5 down. So, and that would be actually possibly moving in the high, this B over to here. And but right now it doesn't really make any difference. So under this would only be like possibly wave 1 of C, or on the other one where this would be 1 of 3, 2 of 3, we're in a 3 of 3, and this is wave 1 of 3 of 3. So it could really start to subdivide, because it really would signal that on the top side that we completed and we're dropping in an intermediate third wave. So preferred view, we're dropping in a minor B wave with a minor C wave rally yet to come. Under that scenario, still would be expected to break wave A, and that would come in at 4501. But we have some pretty decent support all right below it. And 100%, where wave C would equal 100% of wave A, would bring us down to 4457. That would be enough to kind of shake it up a little bit. And possibly that maybe is only going to be wave 3, but we'll see. Because this could be 1, 2, and this is 3, we get a 4, and the 5 takes us down there. And then that completes wave C of the minor B. And then we rally in a minor C wave of the intermediate wave 2. So each would fit. And if that's the case, and we rally, we get maybe we get down here, we break below that low, that fulfills the requirement, and the C starts to find support anywhere in here. As long as we can count a clean 5, we can consider it complete. And what would really, of course, confirm that is if the market turned in and started heading back above 4,500, 4,550, etc. And then eventually above 4,587, and eventually above 4,631. Now, should that come into play, I will put up those fibs that covers to the upside. Right now, I'm going to leave them off because it tends to clutter the chart. But we already know that this upside carries some pretty strong potential. Okay, again, so we'd be looking for the completion of the ABC for the minor B wave, which is the internal B wave, excuse me, yeah. And then minor wave B of intermediate wave 2. So that finishes that one. Now, the additional scenario which would suggest that we are dropping in an intermediate third wave, that would then suggest that this is not wave A, that this is intermediate wave 2, the completion point of intermediate wave 2. I'm going to go back up to the daily. I was just seeing that there is possibly one way that it's very clean and we could allow it. And that would be that this remains 1, maybe gets shifted over here, and that's A, B, or this becomes A, B, and then because sincerity, it's just a spike, and that was the close, so it's going to still be above, and I'll show that to you. We still can leave it here, and then it's A, B, and then it's a 5 wave for C, and this turns into intermediate wave 2. If that is the case, if that's the case, folks, then we're dropping, and we're going to be dropping in style, as they say, right? Go back to the candle, because not only would we break that, because then if that's intermediate wave 2, this would be minor wave 1. Possibly only 1, but we'll see, of intermediate wave 3, minor 2, intermediate wave 3, and we're dropping, and this would be child's play compared to what's coming next. So yes, we'll start to break below, we'll break 44.57 and keep going. Another big area is 44.28, but we really would need to start breaking below 43.66. And we can actually, the B wave can go all the way to 43.03 if it really wanted to. So we still have tons of room, but if it gets truly getting knocked down, and this would really be that the NASDAQ could drop over 100. And the only way we can do that is if it starts to really kind of crash. And anyway, that is the name of that term, and that finishes both. So that's scenario 1, scenario 2. Scenario 3 is basically going back out to that daily chart and would include that the scenario pans out, that this remains the A wave, we get the B wave down. But what ends up happening is we shift this to an ABC, and this becomes intermediate wave A, and we're in an intermediate B wave, and that B wave then stands the possibility of possibly becoming an irregular B wave and taking the market to a new high of 48.09. That I will, should it become engaged, I will go over in detail, but it's out there, it's in third place. All right. Now, according to our moving averages, and that's the last thing we're going to review for today, is they're still, we haven't really on a daily basis gotten down to really start to challenge the 20, the 50, and the 200. And as you can see, as nice of a dip as it was, these things are kind of flat. Look at the 50, look at the 200, flat. Even the 20 is going flat. So really all that was in play today on the daily were the 4 and the 8. On the hourly chart, a little bit different. But the 50 continues to, well, it did. Today it broke and you can see what happened. So it is not even gaining any steam, being even close to it. So for the S&P, it does spell that we're going to go down again and break 45.07, break 45.01, and dip into those areas that I just discussed. So those are all lining up. And one by one, they'll start to break below. Now, that's it for the moving averages. So I'm going to leave it there. We've got our marching orders. I've presented scenario 1, scenario 2. 3 we'll worry about should it happen. I am looking for continued downside for tomorrow, basically, and it can get hot and heavy. All right, next update will be on Wednesday, the 6th of April.